Peace, everybody. What's going on with ya? Welcome to the Friday edition, holiday edition, if as it were, of sorts. It's the week of all kinds of things. It's Burn It Down with Kim Brown. This is the safe space where we set oppression ablaze. I am so appreciative that you guys have made the time, effort, and energy to join me esta noche. Thank you so much. I'm seeing boxes already popping up in the cut. Look at the cut right there. Thank you so much already for some early support. We appreciate it. Shout out to all of our Fire Fam channel members, all of our Fire Fam patrons. I was about to call y'all patriots. My bad. I'm sorry. I don't ever mean to slur you. No, patriotism is something that is not to be celebrated and no, I'm trying to think of one circumstance it's cool to be a patriot. I can't think of any. So Fire Fam, we appreciate you guys being with us on this night. So let me start off the show wishing happy birthdays to all the Sagittarius out there. I think we have several with us in the Fire Fam. Can I extend a happy birthday to Courtney, the SLP, aka Courtney the Stallion, aka that nigga out here. Shout out to the good sis Courtney. Courtney, happy birthday this week, Court. I can't remember what day your birthday is, but happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to my nephew, Dawn Hammonds, out this blicka, blicka, blicka. Happy birthday, Dawn Bird, Dawnie. Afraid not. Is it your birthday season too, baby? Sagittarius. And of course, the most happy of happy birthdays going out to my mama today. Her birthday. She's a G and her name is Jean. Mama Jean. So please, hearts and flame emojis in the chat up for my moms. My mom's is a breast cancer survivor. My mother is a single mother, been a single mother, and is just an all-around amazing person. If you guys like me, you would love my mother because she is, and this is no exaggeration, my mother is 1,000 times nicer than I am. like compared to my mother, I'm not a nice person, but my mom is super nice and I just love her so much. So happy birthday to my Mama Jean. So gang, I don't know about a show. I mean, we here, so it's a show, right? And shout out to everyone that's joining us live on YouTube on the vertical stream. Come on in here. And in fact, Wilbert, at your leisure, can you please drop the link for us? Because y'all know I used to be on the radio, and even though I didn't often get opportunities to do so, one of my favorite things to do would be to open the phone lines. Lord, there's nothing I enjoyed more than talking to listeners. Now, YouTube is a bit of a different medium because y'all don't really call. Like, let this have been a radio station. Let me have drop the 202-432 da 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 da. Phone lines lighten up, okay? They are lighten up. But here on YouTube, people be shy. So I'm here to hear from you. Cameras do not need to be on. Trolls welcome. Like, I don't care. You know, we ain't never scared around here. Y'all do what you do. I mean, there's not a dearth of things to talk about. There were some things I did want to discuss, but I didn't have any necessarily segments prepared. But that apparently there's been a budget deal reached in the House late tonight. Breaking news there. I'm not sure exactly what capitulations the Democrats had to give to the Republicans in order to get this across, but we'll see. At least the government won't be shut down. And I know if you don't live in the Washington, D.C. region, you know, you hear government shut down, you may think, you know, but around here, it's a big deal. It is a big deal when government workers are furloughed, when the government gets shut down because these fuckers can't do basic shit like pass budgets and whatnot. And also in the DC area, a lot of government workers are Black people, right? The government, federal government, working for the city of Washington, working for the state of Maryland, for many people has been a ladder out of poverty, right? People were permitted to ascend to parts of the middle class via these good government jobs. Why? Because the federal government enacted its own so-called standards, for diversity when it comes to hiring. So the government is, I won't say well represented per se, but there is representation there that has an economic impact on the people that live in this region. So I'd never like to see the government shut down. So that's not going to happen this time. Though, here's what I appreciate about Trump and Musk. Again, I mean, to be clear, it's fuck Trump, okay? Because Trump is a demon. That's not even up for debate. But what I appreciate about Trump is that he leaves no pretense. Like there's no facade. Donald Trump let y'all know, let all of us know what has been known, but now is crystal clear for anybody that didn't think that this was the case. Baby, the billionaires run the government, okay? The oligarchs run DC, Capitol Hill, the White House. The oligarchs, not anybody that you showed up to the voting booth and pulled the lever for. No, them motherfuckers don't run shit. And Elon and Trump just showed everybody that. And I appreciate that because people seem to think that we live in a democracy and we do not. We live in a captured capitalist ruling class top down kind of system. There is nothing democratic about the United States of America. Money run America, not people. However, the people can change that. I'd like to see us change that. So there's that. I'd like to get your take on that. Speaking of billionaires, sending solidarity and love and support to all the striking Amazon workers. Book. New York, Chicago, California, Georgia, Illinois. Thousands of Amazon workers went on strike protesting their low wages, their poor working conditions, the unreasonable expectations, these AI driven metrics of productivity that humans are somehow expected to be able to master, and it's terrible. So I saw some pictures out of New York where the NYPD, not today, I think this was yesterday, punching, assaulting, harassing, bothering people who were out there exercising their First Amendment rights of free speech, their rights as workers to unionize. Jeff Bezos, fucking Amazon won't even acknowledge the union. Shout out again. They won't even recognize them. Big up to the Teamsters who are working with the Amazon workers to get them organized. And please follow all these Amazon worker union social media accounts because they really do an amazing job of getting the first person perspective, the from the mouths of the workers themselves, some of the bullshit that these people have to endure. I've seen stories where workers, I'm trying to remember the exact location of the plant. I want to say Kentucky, but I'm not certain about that. Whatever. The worker was saying that there was a bed bug infestation in the warehouse and that people were, getting sick in the sense that they had rashes and bites and all of this shit. And once the warehouse was fumigated, right, they were forced immediately to return back to work. I don't even think the warehouse was properly aerated before Amazon said, all right, go ahead and breathe in them fumes. It's okay. Put on a mask. We got to get these packages out. It just deplorable things. While Jeff Bezos sails the Mediterranean on his fucking $500 million yacht. We showed the yacht on the Remix Morning Show the other day. Y'all, the fucking yacht, it's disgusting. Disgusting. He needs a yacht to get to the yacht. He has a helicopter pad on the fucking yacht. The yacht that looks like a goddamn, like the USS John F. Kennedy out this bitch. It looks like a goddamn like aircraft carrier. Like, get the fuck out of here. Like, there's absolutely no reason at all for Jeff Bezos to have exploited. I won't, because there ain't no earn, Billionaires don't earn shit. You know, he didn't earn, he didn't work so hard to earn that $500 million boat. Fuck no. He got that money from selling cheap products, from not properly giving small business whatever, people who selling their wares on Amazon, not giving them a proper cut of their stuff, and most importantly, not paying his workers. And don't forget the amount of pressure that Amazon puts on the environment, that puts on resources, that puts on materials. All of them, all of them anyway. So we want to send solidarity and love to the Amazon Workers Union. Try not to fuck with Amazon as much as possible. I know it's convenient. I know we're all spoiled beyond belief at 2-day shipping. Can Auntie tell y'all a story? Can I tell y'all stories of my youth when ever ordering something to be delivered to your house? Delivery time. Everyone over 40, can you please say it? 4 to 6 weeks. That is correct. if it got there sooner, bonus. I don't think people could stand waiting 4 to 6 weeks for any fucking thing to show up in the year 2024, almost 2025. So yeah, y'all, let's just, let's try to ease up on Amazon as much as possible. I can't even ask you not to utilize it because I know, again, the convenience of 2-day shipping. And again, I don't even not whatever. Let me shut up. There's no ethical consumerism under capitalism. So we do
Facts.
we do what we can. What's up, Wilbert? How you feel, bro?
What's up? How y'all doing today? I just wanted to give a special shout out to Chichi Mancha. We appreciate you. For John Kemper, we appreciate you. And for Cynical, we appreciate you for the super chats. And we got great DJ Vesper X. Ready you are.
Thank you, guys. Oh, Vesper's standing by. Hold on, 1 second, Vesper. Shout out to Ebony. Ebony ran us some bucks. Ebony ran us bucks. And she supported Classical Breakdown in a big, big way, Ebony. Ear Doctor and I thank you so much. If you haven't checked out Classical Breakdown, featuring myself and the Ear Doctor on Black Liberation Media, where Ear Doctor and I, we call ourselves the Lumpkins. That's our rap duo group name. Yes, the Lumpkins. It is an intentional, I am saying lumpin incorrectly on purpose when I call us the Lumpkins, because that is me and the Ear Doctor. Of course, we believe in Black freedom and nationalism and radicalism, all that shit, but we are going to say all the terms incorrect. we are going to mispronounce all of that shit. So we are the Lumpkins, and we bring classical breakdowns of years of albums of artists. It's over on Black Liberation Media. Please go over there and check that out. Can we bring my baby boo boo DJ Vesper X to the stage?
Oh, hey.
Oh, my baby boo boo. What's up, babe? What's up, Vesper? How you feel?
How you? I'm surviving this capitalistic hellscape like everybody else.
Hey, Vesper, thanks for
How are
being
you?
on the I'm doing good, babe. Thank you so much for being on the disability support sesh with us. Shout out to Kofi, shout out to Abby. Vesper, I got sick. Like, I was on the phone or on the call with y'all, and I was trying to
Right.
fight off this migraine, and I'm like, that's when I had to hang up. And then I went and barfed. Like, it was
Ooh,
bad.
it was
Like,
that bad.
it was. And I was not always plagued by these migraines. They have come about with, adulthood, like 30
Mm-hmm.
onward. And the feature of me experiencing nausea with these migraines is kind of recent, and it's like, god damn, these joints is worse. I hope I don't have the Depo-Provera brain tumor out this bitch. Like, geez Louise. So I was regrettably missing the rest of the call, but I came back, and even listening to y'all for a few minutes, I'm like, I still don't feel good. I have to hang up.
Right.
That's why I just pieced
I
out
don't
and didn't
blame
do
you.
anything. So I
I don't.
appreciate your participation, though. I appreciate you
I
coming through.
appreciate your participation and you creating the safe space to set oppression ablaze.
Hey, hey, what's on your mind, Vesper X? What you wanna what topic, what story, what situation, what issue has captured your attention?
Well, like I said on the support group, Luigi has made me very proud to be an Italian American.
And I'm proud to be Italian. Well, we
Hmm.
let the chopper sing.
Exactly. Oh my goodness. So there's that. I thought it was
Hold on.
funny how they go
No,
ahead.
no, go ahead. Are you going to talk about the fucking perp walk? That shit
Yep.
looked like. I'm like, what is this West Side Story? Did you see all them fuckers roll out behind? Like, it's for. It was such a.
I'm waiting for Eric Adams to be the one in chains going on that perp walk, not standing behind him for the clout. Like that's really what it was. He was trying to get all the attention away from Luigi, and they still tried to make this man look bad, and all they did was make him look like a superhero.
Man, what? Will, do me a favor. Search for the perp walk if you could, and let me know when you got it, because we got we got to look
They
into.
made him look like a superhero, and somebody gave him a lineup, and like one of the barbers at the
At the
yeah.
jail.
So everybody's talking about his lineup. And now the barber's got apparently he's starting making sure he's updating his Instagram so that his portfolio has Luigi in there
I
because
love that. Wait a minute, hold on. This is his jailhouse barber, right?
hmm
Nice.
yeah.
First of all,
So
shout out to the jailhouse barber having an Instagram. You the real MVP out here.
I
See
mean this
your work,
th-
baby.
I mean I'm just like I'm watching all this and everybody's laughing about this, but it's like I'm waiting to see like I don't know how to say it on here. Like I'm just waiting to see where are the copycats? That's what I want to know. But
Hmm.
anyway,
Got it.
I mean that and then this whole thing going on with Elon Musk basically pressuring Congress to cut cancer funding to children and Social Security and Medicaid and all the things that us disabled depend on to survive late stage capitalism. Oh no, he wants to get rid of them because he can get a better tax break. There's the picture.
As America continues to crumble, Vesper, as I say, like I, in some ways, I appreciate when they show us blatantly. Not to say they haven't been showing us all along, but again, there's no pretense. There's no,
Hmm.
there's no what we gonna do. No, none of that. Because I think so many in Trump's base seem to think that they will be able to miss out on this. Like all of this is just gonna hit
Yep.
them, who is us, right? And it's like you
Yep.
guys have really not read the room here about what Trump stands for, first of all, and then all of those that are going to be surrounding him making policy like this. It's so hilarious to me that this Department of Governmental Efficiency, like people talking about this shit, like it's like legitimate, like
Yeah.
this thing is not even
They really just
budgeted.
but that's the thing. Like I saw now I'm going to use allegedly here because I'm not sure. I haven't verified this, but I allegedly saw that when Trump was in school, they did do an IQ test on him and his IQ was 78. So knowing that and knowing that more like so many millions of people voted for him,
Hmm.
those millions of people are obviously dumber than him. So I can't really fault them because they're idiots. I'm sorry, but they're idiots. Anybody that voted for Trump after the second time is either an idiot or a racist or both. I don't know how else to say it, but I mean,
They
and I
say that.
love how when I speak out against Biden, people automatically assume that I'm a Trump supporter or a Trump voter, and I never once supported this man or voted for him. But because I speak out against Biden on social media, but that's social media nowadays.
Well,
This is
because
America.
people are not they're so rigid in their thinking, and the way that we are conditioned as Americans to think in this very
Yeah.
binary way, left, right, you know, Democrat, Republican, man, woman, like we don't
Hmm.
we cannot see outside of the parameters that we have been conditioned to accept.
Yep.
and people just think that Trump, I agree, like it's wild to me that any working class or poor person, or especially a white person, how the fuck could you look at Trump and think that a motherfucker that shits on a gold toilet has your best
Yes,
interest at heart?
exactly. Exactly.
How can you think that? And then Trump, is starting to show his hand more. Well, I don't know what I can do about the grocery prices. Yes, nigga,
Yeah.
we knew that.
Yep.
We knew that you and Kamala could not do shit about grocery prices. Here she comes talking about, well, I'm gonna do something about price gouging.
Right.
Do something
What was she
now.
gonna do?
What
Right.
the fuck? But hold on, Vesper X on some funny shit. And again,
hmm
I, I don't know. I don't like to make fun of people who have issues, right? Even if it is Trump, but fuck them. They say Trump stinks to high heaven, by the way,
hmm
allegedly. They say
Allegedly.
Trump for all these people that kiss his ass on a constant 24/7 basis. Apparently no one wants to wipe his ass. And they say Trump literally smells like poo-poo.
Well, you know why? Because he's incompetent and incontinent.
It's all the end content.
Yes, he's all of them. He's all of them. He doesn't know how to wipe his own ass, and he's also incontinent. He wears diapers. So that's what they're smelling, is he hasn't changed his diaper.
But how come
Or
he doesn't get a bidet? Sir, the bidet, there's not a bidet next to the gold toilet. You don't have a golden bidet. Just sit on the
well,
bidet for about 30 minutes, no,
I
Mr.
mean,
President. Sit there for a
that
while.
would require him to use common sense or know how to use a bidet.
Ugh.
So
But
I mean, would it be beyond the realm of possibility that the man doesn't even know how to use a toilet, that he doesn't know how to flush, that he doesn't know how to wipe, that he doesn't know how to use a bidet? Allegedly. I mean, I'm just saying, like, it would not shock me if somebody came forward and said, yes, I was wiping his ass all his life because he didn't know how to. I was the official ass wiper. Like, if somebody came forward with that, would we be shocked? I wouldn't.
I would, because if someone is wiping his ass and he still stinks, I'm like, how can you be a terrible ass wiper? I guess it's possible. Right.
That's
I
white
guess
excellence.
stop.
Horrible at everything. You're horrible at being a horrible. You're great at being a horrible person. That's how capitalism rewards white people. Just be a horrible person, and you can climb all the way to the highest echelons of being the horrible ass wiper of Donald Trump. So yeah, this is
Listen,
America.
Mike Mack, thank you so much for your Cash App support. Thank you so much. Shout out to Michael M, coming through with the big CA. Appreciate that. Listen, Vesper, I mean, here's the thing. Like, so look at Elon Musk. And many people are saying that actually Elon is the president and Trump is the vice president, because Trump is reacting and responding to what Elon's, I guess, bully tweets are coming through. Would never call it X, coming through on Twitter. And do you think that Trump's base understands that it's the billionaires calling the shots, and that the billionaires, don't give a fuck about them, don't give a fuck about their ability to access healthcare? Can they afford food? Do they have housing help? Like, when do you
I
think Trump's people are going to figure this out? His base.
The ones that have already experienced the brutality and the cruelty of this system have already figured it out. But unfortunately, they have been screwed over to the point where they really have no recourse. The people in Appalachia were very much Trump supporters. They are freezing in tents right now, and this Congress just refused to allocate the funds to help them. So those are the types of Trump supporters that have figured it out. The rest of them are in their own little silos. Elon has clearly manipulated. I'm going to call it X just because. Sorry, I got a phone call. I'm going to call it X just because he ruined what it was, and it's no longer Twitter. It is this monstrosity. And he has manipulated it to the point where after Luigi, "Eat the Rich" was no longer trending. You can't find it as a hashtag.
Hold on. So wait, let me ask. So do you think Luigi could galvanize a lot of these white people, especially even some of these young whites out here who are like, again, I tell you, I see the videos all the time, mainly from people of color and black folks, but I imagine that white people are experiencing this on some level too. But millennials, like millennials got it rough out here, highly educated or have been in the workplace and experience and cannot find work. They're doing gig work. The ones that are trying to start families are finding shit damn near like impossible, right? So Luigi doing what Luigi did, right? Do you think that was sort of, it could be like a bit of a wake up call to white folks? Because even in the comments against Elon, against these right wing talkers, Ben Shapiro, Matt Walsh, Tucker Carlson, all these fuckers, like they're the people are telling them that they support what Luigi did.
Yeah. And that's the thing. You wouldn't know that on X because all of those posts are being suppressed. But on Blue Sky, definitely. On Threads, definitely. But since these people, these oligarchs, Mark Zuckerberg, Jeff Bezos, Elon Musk, all of them, since they all sat down and kissed the ring down in Mar-a-Lago, they have been changing the algorithms on all of these platforms. And I've noticed it. Elon got rid of Eat the Rich. Elon is also getting rid of anything. Like, I think Deport Elon was also trending. That one got removed. Elon Musk is a national security threat was a hashtag that got removed. So
wow.
So all the MAGA, though, they're in their own little silo and they're not paying attention to what everyone else is basically like pointing a flashlight, a huge light on, and it's right in front of their face, but they don't want to believe it because it's coming from the left or moderates or independents or anyone that's not MAGA. So they're lost on X, but on Threads and Blue Sky, there's so much support. And I've actually, because I've posted a few supportive things, have gotten my accounts shadow banned. Yeah, I even, and here's a new policy on Threads, Meta, Facebook, all of them, anything that's a Meta, if you use the term boomer at someone that is older than you, it is considered hate speech.
Come on.
No, it actually happened to me. I posted it all over. Yeah, it was somebody in there basically saying, "Oh, he shot a CEO. How could he?" And I said, "Fuck off, boomer bootlicker." That's all I said. That's all I said because I'm like, you don't have to come here.
It's funny that boomer was the pejorative, not fucking bootlicker. But
okay. Right, exactly.
Will, I heard you talk, Will, a couple minutes ago. Do you got the video? Can we see the perp walk? The Maglione? I feel like
to go. He is now facing.
Oh, go ahead. I actually keep it muted. And just go ahead and run it. So
they treated him like he was the Joker.
I mean,
and he shot one man.
But I'm trying to figure out why the fuck was federally indicted Eric Adams ass nigga? You the criminal. you up there like you the long arm of the law, the whole ass criminal with charges pending. Eric fucking Adams. I feel like I should be hearing the Bee Gees, like Staying Alive, or I should be hearing Tonight from West Side Story. Tonight. We're gonna rock them tonight. Hey, woo, we're gonna set it off right. I don't know.
It's just wild to me that they put all of these charges for shooting one man, including terrorism charges, yet all of these white supremacist mass murderers who shoot up grocery stores and churches don't get hit with terrorism charges. It's the system on full display. And I think all of us need to continue to remember the words of Maya Angelou, when people show you who they are, believe them.
Believe them. Believe them. See, that's why I think so many are supporting Mr. Maglione here, because he showed us who he was. You know what I'm
Yep.
saying? And I know people may desire for him to have, maybe put his efforts, like if he was moneyed, then maybe he should have redistributed his wealth, or got in an organization, and those are all laudable goals. However, he did what he did, and I think the methods in which he did it, and the motivation behind which he did it, I think are going to be incredibly, perhaps, inspiring. And to your earlier point, Vesper, about the
Mhm.
copy felines, where are the copy felines? Well, maybe they making sure they got their shit together. I don't know, but I think that people are less inspired to copycat acts like these than they are just to commit mass violence, because as Americans, we lack political education, we lack a sense of class consciousness. But a lot of people seem to think that this moment, with the unaliving of Brian Thompson, is sparking some class consciousness amongst Americans, and understanding
Yeah.
that your sympathy is wasted on someone like him, because he has Brian Thompson, that is, has absolutely no sympathy for the plight of those that are suffering under this raggedy ass healthcare system. Can't even call it healthcare, health denial system. And
Sick care. Sick
right.
care system, because they're designed to keep us sick. And the thing about it is, they will continue to do this as long as they're not afraid of consequences for their actions. I truly believe that what Luigi did was a form of self-defense. When they are mass murdering us in this system every day by denying coverage, by not allowing people to have access to adequate health care, they are killing us. It is a slow form of genocide, and any resistance to it is an act of self defense. And I hope that every juror that gets to see this case holds that in their minds and knows everything that they need to know about jury nullification, because this is a perfect example where jury nullification would apply. Because, again, I don't think he did a crime. Self defense is not a crime. That's my opinion.
And that's what many believe. The people that perpetrated the attacks on October 7th,
Yep.
also taken very much as an act of
Self
self-defense,
defense.
and resisting your oppression is
Is
you
self
should be
defense.
allowed to do that.
Yeah.
Or there is rational justification for that. And it's like people, the oppressed, marginalized people, are expected to be perfect victims. So the fact that Maglione came from his class, his status, his position, his station in life, and still committed an act like this. Although some people also pointed out that, a lot of revolutionaries do come from the upper classes, or
Yep.
come from, relative privilege, high
John
amounts of
Brown.
education. Che Guevara, you know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
lots of there's people that, once they understood their position in the system, they understood that the system has to go, right?
Yep.
Because it's keeping too many down, just for the enrichment and the benefit of the few.
Yes. And when I read his manifesto, he pointed out that the reason why he was able to do what he did was because he had access to money, time, and the tools to do it. And he made it very clear. I mean, and that's another thing people don't want to talk about. In his manifesto, he even considered doing explosives, but he said that he wasn't going to do it because too many innocents could be hurt. So again, I don't think that this was an act of terrorism. I think that this was an act of self-defense. And none of us ever got any of the rights that we have today in America by playing nice or asking nicely. And we've all been asking nicely our whole lives. I'm 40 this year. I've been asking nicely my whole life. I think asking nicely for 40 years and not getting results, what's the definition of insanity? Doing the same thing, expecting different results. I do not advocate violence, and I do not advocate breaking the law, but who wrote the laws? And if it's an unjust law, do we need to follow it? These are
Listen,
the questions that I'm asking myself, and these are the questions that he has sparked. The, that whole debate about universal health care, Medicare for all, was not even a part of this last election. Now we're talking about it because of one thing that he did. So that's my
listen.
thoughts. Thanks for having me on.
You're welcome. Thank you, Vesper, for coming on. I love you, baby.
I
Appreciate
love
you.
you. All right. Have a good evening and a happy holiday.
You as well, you guys. Go follow her at DJ Vesper X on Insta. Go get him. He does mixes. He's an awesome, awesome young person out here. Well, 40. Youngish. But to Vesper's point, what's the point? What is the point? Again, this is why what Maglione did has got the elite so shook. This is why they're doing such grand spectacles to make an example out of him, to discourage, to do two things, to discourage anyone that is thinking about, replicating his actions, and also to demonstrate to the oligarchs that we got a handle on the situation. We're going to make sure we put this motherfucker under the jail. This class traitor. How dare he? CEOs, billionaires. Don't worry. We're gonna make an example out of this kid. So that's why we had that spectacle there. But to Vesper's point about laws and following the law, I want you guys to never forget it was illegal for an enslaved person to free themselves, aka escape slavery. You understand? That punishable by flogging, the humiliation. I wouldn't say death. They wouldn't kill the slave, the enslaved person, because they were property. They were valuable. They needed them, right? They were part of the economic machine of the plantation in the plantation class. But against the law for a person to free themselves from bondage, and to want something better, to want to be able to live their life in a free, autonomous way, against the law. Okay, so we have to rethink what is laws. Laws are meant to keep us in place. They are there to keep us in a position of persistent bondage. And it's not just physical bondage, it's economic bondage, it's class bondage, it's education bondage, it's lack of healthcare bondage. It's all kinds of the bondages. That's what capitalism does. It has to ensnare you, to exploit you, to make sure fuckers like Elon Musk and Jeff Bezos can have $500 million yachts. Enough. we need to take the shackles off our feet. So what, everybody? So we can dance. That is correct. Isn't that right, Franny French? We got to do that. Holly Horn, we got to do that. Swerve Ferris, we got to do all of that. And I'm glad to see it. So anyway, New York jurors, or potential jurors in New York City. First of all, they are not going to put anybody on that jury under 40. It's going to be all old whites. It's going to be old whites, the most conservative people they can find that are older and white. Because I'm telling you, good luck. You should see the TikToks of these younger white girls in their 20s and 30s. Slingshotting the panties at Luigi all through social media. There's no way any young white girl 35 and under is going to cast a vote to convict Luigi. It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. And people of color, black folks in New York, I don't think so. So they got to get those what's the fancy side of town? It's the upper west side, upper east side. I don't know. I don't know New York that well, but wherever the schmancy whites live, yeah, they got to pull them in for jury duty, which they're not going to want to do. So it'll be interesting to see how the jury selection goes down there. What else is going on that I wanted to mention? It was Amazon. Again, always sending love, shout outs to the workers organizing for their rights, better pay, better conditions. Fuck Jeff Bezos. Who else? What was I going to talk about? Now I got to run through my bookmarks. I did have something. I don't remember what it was. But that's why I kind of wanted to do a call-in show because because I know y'all have things that are on your mind or even things that are happening locally where you are. There was a couple of stories. So this one story, see again, I don't know if that's a dumb story. The Boston City Council person who has been charged, I can't remember what they were charged with. Bribery. I don't think it was bribery. It might have been bribery, amongst other things. But it's a black woman or black Afro Latina. I guess black Afro Latina is redundant, right? She's either black or she's Afro Latina. I don't know. But they've charged her. I think even federal indictment. Was she charged federally? I find it really interesting that all these state level or even city level black elected officials are getting rung up on charges. And I'm like, you mean to tell me the whites? You mean to tell me it's only fucking Trayon White, the Ward 8? He's not white, by the way. I guess you could have deduced that by Trayon, but Trayon White, not a white, but he is the Ward 8 council person on the DC City Council. He's facing federal indictment. This black lady out of Boston on the Boston City Council facing federal indictment. Somebody else just got indicted. Some other black elected person. I'm like, is it really only the black politicians? And I don't deny that these motherfuckers haven't done exactly what they are accused of. I just find it interesting because trust you me, in institutions and spaces where, you know, white power dominates, regardless of what the front faces of the, you know, the body are, there's white power that's running the shit, right? When you see Trayon White and this Boston City Council lady going down over $7,000, Trayon White accused of accepting a bribe of $135,000. Nigga, that is peanuts. That is a pittance. Baby, if let me tell you something, whatever the black politicians are out here grifting, times that by 25,000. And you might get an inkling about what the white politicians are out here doing. It's just, I find it interesting, just quite funny. Oh, speaking of politicians, you guys may have heard or may not give a single shit, but I'm gonna tell you anyway. Former Baltimore State's attorney Marilyn Mosby, who is convicted, I think, of 2 federal felonies, and summarily, I think she was disbarred or lost her law license to practice in the state of Maryland. There was a big push, I don't fucking know, from all the bougies. Let me not, I was about to say, let me shut up. All the bougies, basically. Let's keep it general with bougies. A lot of the black bougies were really pushing Joe Biden to give Marilyn Mosby a pardon. And Biden said, not today. Biden said, it's not going to be me, but these pardons are for my sons. These pardons are for Anthony Fauci, Adam Schiff, you know, Maryland, we have no pardons for you. And it just really struck me. Like, it doesn't pay to be a company man / woman. It doesn't pay to be a proud part of the system. Like, Marilyn Mosby was in such shock that the fucking system had the audacity to come after her for why? Because she filled out some mortgage forms in a way that would have been to her economic benefit. Again, shit that the whites do, elected whites, powerful whites, rich whites, shit that the whites do every goddamn day. Don't nobody ask no questions. Don't nobody follow up on the paperwork to see if the shit was filled. Nope. Went down for some pity pat shit. And then just really made a case like, you know, I was a prosecutor, you know, I put niggas in jail for y'all. I kept niggas in jail for y'all. Y'all supposed to look out for me, and they didn't. It does not pay. It does not pay. It might pay for a bit, It might pay for a little while. Shit might look sweet. You know what I'm saying? You might get to a tiny modicum of power. You may ascend, to rule your fiefdom, in her case, Baltimore City, along with her husband. But when the rubber hit the road, it don't pay. It don't pay. So don't even bother. Don't bother to be a cheerleader. Don't bother to be a patriot. Don't bother to even to be a super great employee. And when I say super great employee, I mean, if you're at a job that requires you to be good at it, sure, fuck it, be good. But do not go above and beyond, because it doesn't pay. There was some stories, again, social media. When I say social media these days, kids, I'm talking about TikTok. I want to talk about the TikTok ban here in a bit too. But there was a situation in which a woman shared a story where she and her coworkers are being asked to donate their PTO to another coworker who had experienced like a family tragedy or some sort of family emergency. And the woman who made the video declined. She said, nah, no, I will not be donating my paid time off. And her coworkers gave her some shit for it. And it's a reminder of how captured we are, how we are very quick to respond negatively in a lateral way to each other or people below us, for not coming up off of their meager resources. Meanwhile, not being angry at all at the bosses, at the management, at the ownership, who could give as much paid time off as they wanted to an employee that was experiencing a hardship of some kind, familial hardship, health hardship, or whatever. Like, we are going to take care of each other on some instance, but at the same time, not to your own detriment, and certainly not more than the person, the people, the entity, the institution that actually has the power to make sure that when people need paid time off for an extended time, that they have it. Like, we should not feel bullied to provide what the bosses and what the owners can give without blinking an eye. And that shit is crazy to me. So, and that's what I mean. So, like, if you have a job, don't stay late. Don't come early. Take all of your vacation. Take all of your sick days. Use them as mental health days if you need them. Any sort of benefit your job provides you, use it. Don't let me tell you something. I don't give a fuck. It's the 20th of December. I do not give a goddamn. If you have paid time off at your job right now that can't be rolled over, that you are going to lose, but your bosses are pressuring you, well, Sarah, we need you this week because a lot of people are out for the holidays, and you're like, but I have this time that I need to use. Well, okay, well then, if they need to be giving you that PTO in the form of cash money in your hand, if you are not able to actually take the time off. But I encourage you to take the time off, because, guys, we are not meant to simply labor and toil forever. It's ridiculous. The expectation that you are going to work from 15 to 65 or whatever the new age of Social Security collection is, 67, that is a wild ask of capitalism, of the American government, of being able to maintain a lifestyle of being housed, fed, clothed, and happy. Like, that's a wild ask that you have to literally sacrifice 50 years of your life in order to get to a rest. And if you're Gen X, you guys are seeing what I'm seeing. Y'all seeing what I'm seeing out here, Gen X. Y'all motherfuckers better not work until y'all 62. You know why? Because a lot of us ain't gonna make it to 62. a lot of Gen X is falling down in their 50s. Kids. No. El tiempo es ahora. Okay. Time is right fucking now. Now. You better enjoy life now. You better do what you want to do with your life now. If you have goals to accomplish it, sure, accomplish it. But I am here for people whose goals and aspirations are to do absolutely fucking nothing. Like, I'm here for that. Like, you don't have to be productive in order to be worthy or deserving of a quality existence. Like, I'm here for people not doing shit. Like, this idea that you have to work. And it's like, for whom? For what? And that this is why so many people are tapping out of parenthood. This is why these millennials is like do what? be a who? A mother, a father in this economy? And look, in that phrase, in this economy is applicable for a 20-year stretch, right? In this economy, trust me, that's what I was thinking 10 years ago, 10 plus years ago. I'm like, yeah, and I like kids, motherhood sounds like it's cool, right? Until you start to figure out, number one, what are you going to feed the kid? Baby food. Tested and found to be laden with heavy metals and cyanide and all kinds of crazy shit. Okay. Oh shit. What am I going to feed the baby? Okay. Time to go back to work. Who going to keep the baby? Oh, we can keep the baby. $3,000 a month. The fuck? I'm sorry. What? Childcare. Does that $3,000 a month to watch my child? Does it come with college credits? Does it come? Is there something tangible that can be applied to the future for the amount that it costs for somebody to watch this fucking kid for a few hours a day? Hey, Jesus Cristo. Like, yo. And then where you gonna educate them? Clothe them where? Activities. Oh my God. Let me tell you how scared I'm not even a parent, but even as a non-parent, the idea of putting my child in American public schools just terrifies me, because I'm like, God damn, like how are we going to be countering this indoctrination at the end of every school day? Like, how? Okay, baby, what'd you learn today? Okay, well, you got to unlearn and learn that shit. Okay, yeah, it's that. So that's the answer they're going to ask you on the test. Yes, but in reality, the actual factuals, and then you got to explain to your child why they are being educated in a dystopian fashion, right? Absolutely too much. Oh, and then the school shootings. Oh, and then the traumatization of even drilling, preparing for the school shooting, right? The loud noises, the bangs, the fucking cops running through the goddamn school. Can you imagine how terrifying that is for a kid? And in the small mind of a child, why are we doing this? Oh, because there's a possibility, because in this country, in America, the so-called greatest country in the world, that you are being indoctrinated to believe that there's no other country on this planet that is superior than this fucking country. Yeah, well, in that great country, people routinely enter school buildings and shoot up and kill children. So this is why you have to do this, baby, because this is what they do in great countries, right? Again, the fuckery. I couldn't do it. But anyway, where was I going with this? Why was I telling y'all that I like, because the millennials not having kids. Right. And the millennials know what the fuck time it is. And I shout out to the millennials and to the Gen Zs. And y'all are right. Don't do it, baby. Do not do it. And not in this economy, and not when we do not have access to universal health care. And that's the thing. That's the unfortunate thing, guys. So many folks are going to have to, and are already choosing to, forego certain life milestones for economic reasons, which is bonkers, but accurate, and it's the truth. We unfortunately have to move and make decisions like we live in a country that does not have a social safety net. Right? We don't have maternity care, like paid paternity and maternity and family leave and all of that. you know, have a kid how under these circumstances? Unless you're just going to just work yourself literally to exhaustion, which many people are doing, and they're working themselves to exhaustion and are still not able to have their needs met. And that's crazy. And that's all because of this stupid fucking system that hopefully is going to collapse on its own. Like, it's doing a good job. Like, in terms of, revealing the cracks in the foundation. Like, it's already starting to happen. And if you look around the world, America is losing influence everywhere, right? Not and maybe it doesn't give a fuck, but it should give a fuck. What was I about to say there? So I want to shout out to Ghana. Ghana in West Africa just elected a new president. And I saw the story and I hope it's accurate. Chat, correct me if I'm got this incorrect, but Ghana is going to close its US military bases. And this is in the wake of members in the Sahel states. I can't remember. It was fuck one of them. God damn it. Was it Mali or Niger or both of them Bahamas? Kicked out the French military. And that's actually good news. Maybe we'll talk about this on the Remix Morning Show next week. I love I love to see Africans, period, wherever they are, but especially in Africa, reasserting their abilities to rule themselves, to rule their lands, to rule their resources, and to not be the stepping stool, the footstool of the West. So if this is true that Ghana is kicking out the US military, shout out to Ghana. What's up, Ghanaians? Book, well done. There's room for y'all in the association. What's the shit called? The Associated of the Sahel States. There's always room for one more. There's always room for one more. That would be tight. We would love to repatriate ourselves back to the motherland. And by the way, if we have any racist trolls with us, you should consider sending us a super chat or contributing to one of our cash platforms, $BIDWKB, Venmo at BIDWKB, sorry, right, PayPal.me/BIDWKB. Our Go Back to Africa fund is always open. It's always open. We don't ever close that bitch. That shit is an ongoing till. So if you want us to go back to Africa, we accept all support in order to go back to Africa. Will, would you go back to Africa if a racist white really supported?
Oh yeah. I'm trying it on my own devices.
Would you turn it down? Would you be like, nah, I ain't taking this money from this racist. He told me to go back to Africa.
Nah. I'd be like, gladly.
Gladly. Me as well. I'd happily go back to Africa. I would love to know from whence in Africa I come, but I don't. So there's that. Did you drop the link again, Will, for the folks them in case you guys want to join me tonight? Again, YouTube is not. Huh? You said what, babe?
No, I was just saying I dropped it.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Yeah, YouTube is not the radio. I can tell y'all that. Maybe I got to promise y'all a t-shirt or some shit. I got to tell y'all I got a bumper sticker. I got some free tickets to Mama I Want to Sing coming to Constitution Hall. See, and again, you got to be of a certain age and demographic to even know what the fuck Mama I Want to Sing is. Mama, I want to sing. It was a play. There used to be, I guess there still are, but traveling plays, I guess on the Chitlin circuit, where Tyler Perry kind of got his start, actually, with the Medea, all that Medea terribleness that is in the black film lexicon now. Well, that nigga used to do stage plays doing Medea, like for years and years and years, going across the country. Very popular, obviously. Yeah, baby. TikTok ban. What's up, Will? I'm sorry.
I was saying we got Noli Dee on the chat.
You said Noli Dee? Noli Dee?
Hey,
Oh, Noli
nice.
Dee!
Hello, my dear.
Hi. How are you?
I am, girl, I can't talk about it here, but things have been wild. They've been crazy, but like in a good way. I'm doing some really good things and stuff.
I know
Yeah.
you are. Well, I don't know specifically, but know generally that you are doing good things and stuff. Noli D, how's things out west? Are you seeing spaceships?
Now,
Oh,
you think I look up? I keep my eyes on my, whatever's in front of my wheelchair, on the ground, right in front of my wheelchair. That's where my eyes stay.
see,
But
I would be out there looking up. I'm asking for a ride. Hello, like y'all don't see
I
me down here. Come
Nah,
get me.
I've seen enough stuff in my day. I'm good on that. I'm good on that.
What's up with you, Noli D? I appreciate hearing your voice. Talk to me. What's going on?
Well, did you happen to see the woman who got written a ticket while she was in labor on like she was a homeless woman. She was giving birth to she was in labor, having a baby out underneath a fucking overpass. Oh my god, excuse me, sorry. Under an overpass and he writes her a ticket. He don't help her. He doesn't take her to the hospital. He doesn't call the ambulance for her. Nothing. He chews her out up for like 15 minutes and writes her a ticket for camping because camping there is illegal.
In Oregon, is that where this happened?
This was in Kentucky, Tennessee, out of some southern state.
Wow.
Sorry,
Was
I
it?
know you deaf now, ain't you?
No, no. This was white people. I'm sorry, because race
Yep,
matters.
yep, white people on
Wow.
both sides of the fence.
Doing whites like this, man. Wow, that is bonkers. Well, was the lady and the baby? Were they okay? Did they make it? Did they survive?
I don't know because the video is only 15 minutes long. They didn't I haven't found like the whole
Oh,
thing
it was
yet.
like body cam footage.
Yeah, body cam footage. So you know that anything that happened after that 15 minutes, it couldn't have been good because they didn't release the whole thing.
Noli D, what the fuck is on the psych exam to be a police officer? Like, are you a monster? Check yes or no. If you check yes,
You're
oh,
in. You're in.
what the
You're one of us. Yeah, and another police officer, not in 2024 but 2023, brought in almost $1 million, like $12 less, like 980 some $1,000, for his pay, and apparently worked almost 5,000 hours. But guess what? Guess what? It's really crazy. He was in on desk duty, like administrative work. Aren't they on salary? How do they get overtime?
uh, uh, I'm speechless. Do you know where was the
New York
police
City.
department? Ah,
It starts with a W. One of the boroughs. I'll DM it to you. I got the.
Williamsburg, Brooklyn.
That feels right.
Wow, that's the only W that I can think of that comes to mind from New York. $1 million to be the police and push papers around? Come on. Well, see, if he
Wow.
was on the street, he might have got 2 million because they like to rob people. The police
What's really crazy is there's a woman in the same department who made 400 and some thousand, and she was in administrative too, but she had to retire. She had to resign. But that was a black woman, so go figure.
Oh, well, it makes sense that she would make a third or less than half of what the other
Yeah,
what the
and
other
and have to resign over it.
Right,
But the
exactly.
white dude gets oh, he's fine. He still gets to work.
To that point, Noli D, I think the NYPD has a budget annually of $10 billion. And
It's
that
just wild. What?
and that display, that perp walk, that dropping Maglione out the fucking helicopter and have all these people around him not protecting. It's like, how much did that cost? Like, y'all, you could have drove him for a tank of gas from Altoona back to the city. But no, you got to put the chopper in the sky so you can have all this dramatic, do all this shit, all this big high production propaganda bullshit. Like, and then you have Eric Adams doing encampment sweeps and not, and I'm not sure if you've seen this, but the whole issue with the mentally unwell people living in New York City, who I don't know what the fuck was going on, but my point is, something that Amani Barberin brings up is how the open public call for mentally ill people to be institutionalized, like reinstitutionalized. Like Amani thinks that they're going to start putting disabled people back into institutions, like and warehousing them like they did back in the Pennhurst days. You know what I mean? And
Right.
she is perplexed that it's Democrats, not just, but it's also Democrats like Eric Adams that we got to get these people off the street and get them the help they need. But what the fuck does that mean? You mean sending them to Rikers? That's not getting them the help that they need. And just by virtue of being unhoused does not mean that you have to be warehoused in an institution. It's just crazy.
There's no reason for anybody to be homeless. We have like 3 times the amount of empty homes that are livable in this country than there are a total of homeless people, including children. Like you could give every man, woman, and child who is currently homeless and every quote unquote illegal a house to live in of their own without their family, and there would still be empty houses in this country. Like what the hell?
No, maybe we need to do an app. Do we have any technically inclined people? We should start an app called Squat, and it's for the squatters. Shout out to the squatters. And we find, where are the empty houses? Where are the empty units that have been, empty for a while, right? And are completely livable. And we just drop the location. Hey, if you're unhoused and you're in this zip code, here's 10 houses. I don't fucking know, 10 units that are empty. And just go live in them bitches until somebody come and remove you. Fuck it. Like, especially if you're unhoused. Like, something has to be done. Like, radical action needs to be taken. Like, people are going to have to guerrilla a lot of things. And I think housing should be absolutely at the top of the list of shit that we need to commandeer in a guerrilla type fashion.
It's wild. Oh, a friend of mine down in California, she's actually the first and only Black woman to ever fly the U-2 spy plane.
Really?
for the U.S. Air Force. She just bought a building across the way from the college that she's going to, because she's amazing and does everything. And she is converting it into apartments and for low-income housing. She's doing it on her own because nobody else will. The city won't, the county won't, the state won't. So she's doing it on her own. She's like, I'm not going to drive to school every day and see these people with no place to go.
It's amazing to me.
Amazing.
Like, people, like, you're she sounds like she's done well, but at the same time, I can only imagine, as a Black woman, as a pilot in the military, the shit she had to endure. But it's like, as soon as someone that comes out of the marginalized class that has, a soul and empathy and heart, even when they get just a bit more resources, look at how quickly they are ready to redistribute and to help. And fuckers like Elon Musk and Jeff Bezos could end homelessness, could end world hunger today, and they choose not to.
Right? It's wild. It doesn't make sense. It does not compute in my mind. And I've tried my whole life to just be like, why are these people so ugly? Like, I don't get it. It doesn't make any sense to me at all.
Right. And I think that was what was going through Luigi's mind, right? Like, dude, you could do
Patricia
better
in
out
California,
here.
Northern California.
Who's that? Who's in Northern California?
Oh, my friend who bought that building, that old office building, and is turning it into apartments. She asked, where is this? And so.
Oh, okay.
Northern California.
No, that's incredible. And Noli, if she has any links or anything like that, if people want to help, you know what I'm saying?
If you look up Dragon Lady on Instagram, um, you'll know it's her. Black female pilot, retired out of the military. She's my hero. I'm not even gonna lie. She's the coolest person I know. I get excited when I see a DM from her. I'm like, oh, my favorite person. She's gonna leave her husband for me someday.
Listen, people that provide housing and opportunities are like the most incredible folks. I mean, because just think about how it instantly violent and difficult your life becomes once you are unhoused, right? Like everything is a challenge. Bathing is a challenge. Using the toilet is a challenge. Writing a resume, like everything you could think of associated with daily life is made exponentially harder when you don't have a house, you don't have a roof over your head. So for this woman to be providing and creating that for those that absolutely need it, salute to her, shout out to her. Real MVP out here.
She's my hero.
Hey, that's
I
great.
gotta link you up with her. She's amazing. You should have her on sometime.
Absolutely. That sounds like a good idea. I would love to know what drove her, what was her motivation and what was her process.
And mind you, she's a little black girl who grew up in Brooklyn.
Mm.
Like back in the 70s and 80s, back when Brooklyn wasn't a snobby kind of place to live. I've seen Brooklyn a couple months ago, back in October, and it is not what I thought it was going to be at all. I was like, wow, look at all the white people.
Yeah.
It was not what I was expecting at all.
Wow. Yeah.
It's crazy. So many.
Yeah. But shout out to her and shout out to you, Noli Dee. I know what you're doing out here. I know you doing your creative endeavors and your organizing endeavors.
Well, we're actually okay. So there are two 501c3s who I've checked out thoroughly. Like I looked up their tax information and everything. That they run music programs for kids after school, and one of them does music and is teaching them how to like run their own podcast or radio station or whatever, and the other one is just music. And I am putting on a show down in San Francisco for independent artists, and I've got linked up with some awesome people who are donating a bunch of amps and all this other stuff. I'm getting everything for free, including the venue space. So that almost every dime we bring in, we're going to be able to give to these two 501c3s. So that's what I got going on.
So when is that? Do you want to tell the people about that?
March 29th and 30th at a place called the Sports Basement Presario.
In San Francisco proper?
Yeah. It's a 4,500 square foot space that I'm getting for the 2 days. And they're like I said, they gave it to me for free. And it's a beautiful space. It's really nice. It's got power and bathrooms.
So you having a showcase? It's going to be a showcase of artists, or it's a
of independent artists. Even though I've got some big names that are coming. I'm not going to say who because it's supposed to be a surprise.
Right.
I got some big names coming, and then the rest of them are all competing basically against each other. It's like a tournament, basically.
Oh wow!
So the first day will be all eliminations and sending people home, which is going to suck. And then the second day will be people who will be just battling against each other, 20 minutes for each set, until we get down to 3. And then the top 3 will get some cash and some really dope prizes, like really dope prizes. And I'm excited. I'm really excited. And I've already been invited down to Long Beach to do the same thing down there.
Look at that. Come through. Give the people where can people find you on social media, Noli Dee, so they can get updates about these showcases, and if they want to participate or if they know somebody in the Bay Area that that would be interested in doing the talent tournament. I love it.
battleofthebay.info, and you can register there. It does not cost the artist a dime. I'm not charging the artist to do this. I think that's ridiculous. and anybody can enter and bring at least 20 minutes worth of music with you, because we want to hear you, not just a song. We want to hear you.
Oh, okay.
So it'll be all day events, from we're starting at 2 o'clock and going until 7:30 both days.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yes.
Well, listen,
If
go.
anybody, we also have vendor space too. We have like 5 vendor spaces still available. So
We'll take advantage of that. Vendors, if you got services, goods, all the stuff, you need to go link up with Noli Dee. And you said it's battleofthebay.info, Noli Dee?
yep, battleofthebay.info.
So go to the website, check it out, pass it around, share it with the artists that you may know that live in and around the Bay Area, the NorCal area. And hopefully we can get more info and more updates about this, Noli Dee, the closer you get towards the event date.
Yeah. Thank you for having me up.
Noli Dee, thank you for all that you do. Thank you for your support. Thank you for supporting not only me here, but supporting Police Accountability Report and the amazing super couple reporting team of Taya Graham and Stephen Janis, two of my favorite
Oh,
people.
I love them so much.
They're two of my favorite peoples on earth. Like, I'm telling you, like, Tay and Steven are almost not real, like at how awesome. Like, they are
And they love you. They love you so much. They really do. Oh my goodness.
I have
They just love the hell out of you.
I love the shit out of Steven and Taya. Like, I really do. I have the deepest affection for them. Taya is like, she's almost like sisterly, and like Steven is the coolest fucking maybe white man to have ever walked the planet. Like, he's so unassuming in his cool. And I love Steven. He's an incredible writer. He's an incredible researcher. He's an incredible journalist. Like, I'm huge fans of Steven and Taya.
He's an awesome singer too.
Don't tell me Janice can sing too. He can sing?
Dude, he has music on Spotify.
What?
I will send you a link, girl. He has music on Spotify.
Listen, y'all, for all that don't know, the Police Accountability Report, I believe Stephen and Taya still report for the real news, but please go to their YouTube channel, Police Accountability Report. They're also on Instagram also. They're a reporting duo, and Janice is an incredible investigative reporter, but he also has a credit on Jay-Z's Hard Knock Life. And he also, I believe, co-produced DJ Cool's Let Me Clear My Throat. It's like, what? so and now Noli Dee is telling me that Stephen Janis can sing like Bobby Caldwell out here. So I can't wait. I'm looking forward to hearing that. Thank you.
It really is dope. He did a great job.
Oh man, send me the link, Noli Dee.
I actually got him on the radio. His songs on the radio up in Illinois.
What?
In Champaign, Illinois. He's on the radio there.
I feel like I learned something new about Stephen Janis like every year, and each new thing is more incredible than the previous thing that I had learned. It's like, what? Amazing. But Noli Dee, I love you. Thank you so much for calling in tonight, baby.
I love you too. Mwah. Have a great night.
Thank you, baby. Happy holidays.
You too.
And by holidays, I mean Black and indigenous shit, not this not this capitalist Christmas. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I don't know Christmas. Christmas is all right, I guess, but there's a lot of historical inaccuracy with Christmas. It's a lot of, Christmas is in the fourth quarter for a reason. You know what I'm saying? They need to boost those fourth quarter sales. Like, imagine if Christmas was in August. The retailers would have nothing to drive those Q4 sales at the end of the year to make sure those profit lines and revenues is up before blah. Let's see where we at here. I'm gonna sign off here in a little bit if we don't get nobody else calling up. But I wanted to say this real quick about the TikTok ban. You guys are probably going to see more TikTokers joining YouTube. And damn it, I didn't even get a chance to shine on TikTok. That's my own fault. I could have did something. However, I'm just a little bit lazy. And I'm addicted to the content, like to other people's content. Like, I'm a fan, I'm a customer over on TikTok. I'm not a creator. I am absolutely a customer and a consumer. And TikTok boys and girlies are shooketh because the TikTok ban that Congress voted upon, fuck, you know what? These motherfuckers can't agree on fuck all, but let some restrictions on free speech be put in front of the legislative body, and everybody can get on the same goddamn page to restrict free speech out here. So in case you don't know, the app TikTok, which a lot of people erroneously think that it's about trending dances and it's for children, and I guess in some corners of TikTok they do that, but in grown folks TikTok, oh baby, it's glorious. It's education, it's sharing of personal experiences, it's by far my favorite social media app. It's very genuine, at kind of the opposite kind of like of Instagram and Facebook. You know, Facebook is messy and TikTok is a little messy too. But anyway, so TikTok is set to go away the 19th of January. The company's parent, the parent company of TikTok has brought a suit and that will be heard by the Supreme Court. I believe a lower court upheld the ban on TikTok because ByteDance, the corporation that owns TikTok, did issue a legal challenge. A lower court heard the case and upheld the government ban on TikTok, and they have appealed it to the Supreme Court. The court has agreed to hear the case, and they are going to hear it early January or mid-January. I'm sorry, I got my dates a little confused because I know there's the ban date, which I think is the 19th. Trump is set to be inaugurated on the 20th, but I believe the Supreme Court is going to hear the case before those dates. And wow, as much as I used to joke before that if you want to see Gen Z revolt, take away TikTok. if you want to see the Gen Zers in the streets, take that TikTok away. I'm not convinced that that's going to happen, but it is going to be, again, another lesson, another reminder that America is a house built on sand. Free speech, something that many of us, all of us, have been indoctrinated to believe is mandated, or it's ubiquitous, it's a given, right? We have been conditioned to think that these things are just available for us at all time. The ability to speak your mind, the ability to assemble and protest and challenge your elected officials. No, that is incorrect. And the ban of TikTok is another reminder that the oligarchs, the billionaires, run this country. Zuckerberg has already kicked it with Trump at Mar-a-Lago since the election, right? The owner of Meta. Who else? Elon owns Twitter, right? TikTok is smashing these motherfuckers' heads in, okay? Figuratively, Google, figuratively. Calm down. I mean, TikTok has a giant market share, far more than Instagram, far more than X, right? And because this whole talk about in a capitalist marketplace like America has, it's the marketplace of ideas. It's the competition. Whoever provides the better product will be the ones to succeed. Well, TikTok is providing a way better fucking product, and the billionaires say, "Psych, we need to put our fingers on the scales again because we are losing. We are not getting all this revenue that TikTok is taking from us, and all of this market share that TikTok is taking from us. So we are going to use the weight of our money, of our donations, to the political parties, our influence to the elected officials, and we are going to get this app banned." And the elected official says, okay, billionaires, yes, we will ban this, except we're going to tell the people it's based off national security because China, you don't want China having all your information. Well, I don't want fucking Mark Zuckerberg or Elon Musk or whoever the fuck is running Google. What the hell makes you think I want them to have my information even more so than China? What makes you think that my information is somehow safer with Mark Zuckerberg than it is with China? You know what I'm saying? China, the fuck? China hasn't bothered me really at all. Like, you know, China is minding its Chinese business, and I don't, and that's fine with me. TikTok is over here TikToking its little heart out. Except who needs government interference? Who needs welfare in the form of eliminating the competition? The billionaires. The billionaires. So I hate to see this for the younger generations, even for us, but Gen Z and Gen Alpha, lesson, message, the message. Freedom of speech is a farce. You don't have it. Your mamas didn't have it. Your grandmamas didn't have it. Your great grandma. Freedom of speech is a farce. If they don't like what you say, they will shut you up. They will shut you down. If you speak out against the order of democracy and capitalism as it's presented in the United States, well, you must be a communist. You must be preaching terror. No, you're just speaking your mind. You're advocating for yourself, your group, or marginalized or oppressed groups that you don't even come from. And because so much community has been built on TikTok, even people, again, silly me for not, doing it, but a lot of people have been able to create livelihoods for themselves off TikTok. And the government, at the behest of the billionaires, at the behest of big tech and the social media company owners, are about to eliminate the most popular social media platform in the country. In front of your face, in front of all of our faces. I would love to see, I wonder if Luigi's moment coupled with the banning of TikTok, is that going to be enough to get Gen Z out there? Maybe. It may be. What else? What could get Gen Z out there, y'all? If they stop doing the updates on Call of Duty, like what would do it? What would do it for the Gen Zers? And again, silly on the oligarchs. You done gave these children two generations of kids now are awesome assassins because they've been playing Call of Duty and Black Ops for goddamn 15 years. These motherfuckers is trained like that. This is how they actually train some armament and weaponry positions in the military. You do the virtual simulator, you play the fucking video game. Well, good job, oligarchs and ruling class. We got a country that is flush with 400 million guns, and you have two generations. I'm throwing millennials in there too. I know Gen X. I know we've been shooting since Duck Hunt. I get it, but not like these motherfuckers. These kids doing missions and shit. They on the roof. They hiding behind doors. They know how to do this assassin shit for real. Even I think Luigi was playing a first player role. Well, I don't even know what the fuck the video games is called. What's the shit called? The player one, the first point of view shooter assassin shit. Of course, this nigga was able to let off 3 shots on point blank, bop, bop, bop. Nobody else got hit. He's been playing assassin since he was 13. I don't think they thought this through. I don't think they thought this through. Hey, ruling classes. Hey, billionaires. Hey, oligarchs. Y'all might want to reconsider some of your moves out here. To the point that was made earlier by my baby boo-boo, DJ Vespa X, the copy felines. I want to be careful here. The copy felines are trained, okay? And even if they themselves are not arms, they dumbass parents leave their guns around. Like that motherfucker down in Georgia, that piece of shit kid and his father. This motherfucker making threats online to unalive his classmates and his dumbass daddy go and buy him an AR-15 for Christmas, and then he go to school in unalive in real life. Like, it's just insanity, right? So the billionaires and the oligarchs better hope that these armed and trained youths don't use their incredible skills of research and crowdsourcing information, to perhaps find out the location of, people with letters in front of their names. You understand? They don't think they thought this through. Before y'all put out all those fucking assassin games, maybe y'all should have treated them kids a little nicer. Maybe y'all should have treated them a little bit better. But you didn't. And then here come Luigi. And then they make this nigga look like the Joker. They make him look like Harrison Ford on goddamn The Fugitive. Like, the fuck? Like, what are we doing here? What are we doing? So anyway, well, do we have any acknowledgments?
Oh, we just had Chichi Mancha, but they just left.
Oh, I'm sorry, Chichi Macha. I didn't realize you were standing by. Shout out to Chichi Macha, by the way. Chichi Macha is one of our G's out here, one of our riders, ambitious of a rider. Molly, was I supposed to sing a song, Will? I forgot. Was that I forgot. Was I supposed to sing a song before we started the show? That's okay. My bad. Was that a promise? Was that a promise made to the folks?
Only to yourself.
Okay.
I don't think nobody requested that. Okay, here come Chichi Mancha. Here we go.
Chichi Mancha, come on through.
I don't think nobody requested that.
You gotta turn that down. We gonna get hella feedback once you start talking. How you feeling, Chichi Mancha?
Hey, can you hear me?
I can.
Hi, I think this is my first time. Hi.
This is our first time hearing your voice.
Yeah, I think I called in once before, and then my battery died on my computer while, like, right when I had opened up the StreamYard, and I was like, okay. I just wanted to say hi. Nothing specific. Oh, actually, I did want to, when you were talking about earlier the Gen Z and all that, why they're not having kids and like the debt that they're in. It was I've had 4, and these have all been white women in the last like 7 years, tell me they're $100,000 in student debt. Because people don't ever talk about the amount of debt that they're in. It's insane. 100,000.
No.
I'm like, you're never gonna pay that off.
Never. Never. Chichi Macha, that's why I got a bachelor's degree. Girl, and listen, and I was furious about the bill after the bachelor's degree. I said, this is a scam. I said, I have been taken for a ride. I said, no. Girl, that's the why I don't have any advanced education beyond that. Like, I wanted to go to grad school. I might have even considered law school. And then I thought, when I was made aware of the costs and how much people take out in loans, and then how long it takes them to pay back these loans, even despite some of them being high earners, Chichi Macha, you understand? Like, these niggas be making money and still be $75,000 in goddamn student loan debt. I said, in what world could I ever? I'm sorry.
They're never gonna pay that back. They're never gonna pay that back. So yeah, nobody talks about the debt amount. But that's insane. The most, like, I'm Gen X. The most we got was like maybe 40,000.
Yes, and that was plenty.
And I still got people. We still paying off that 40,000 after it's been like you had to set it aside or do whatever to negotiate. Like, we're still paying off the 40,000. That has basically, I guess, turned into 80, but like 100, and they were all around under the age of 32. The oldest one was 32 years old. $100,000 in student debt.
See, and that's why Gen Z and millennials, they're going to be the ones to burn it down, because again, they got sold a bill of goods. They like we did, but I think they got it even worse, right? Like we got the spiel, you better go to college, okay, you better get that piece of paper. And when I started thinking about that later on, I have to say, I didn't value my college education. I went to college to get a piece of paper, like the elders told me. I didn't go to get an education. I went to get a piece of paper, and that's what I got. I got a piece of paper. But I feel like millennials and Gen Zs were so encouraged. Oh no, you got to get your master's so you can be, you have a Teflon resume out here. You always gonna have a job with a master's degree. You know what I'm saying? And maybe some of them do have jobs with master's degrees, but do those jobs pay for those master's degrees? I guess is the question.
Nope. They
Girl.
never, that's permanent. And then there was one guy. It was a guy, and he went to law school. Because wait, this is undergrad. I'm talking about the four that they're talking about their $100,000. This was undergrad. The one guy, a white guy, he went to law school. He said he was $150,000 in debt, and he was working where I worked with students at a high school. And so I'm like, you working here? Like, there's no way you're making money, even if they overpaying you for being white and male. There's no way. And he was just like 150. He's like, yeah, I just know it's going to be a debt that I die with. So, what the fuck? Oops, sorry, I didn't mean to curse.
As much as I cuss, why do y'all think that y'all can't come on here and cuss? Of course you can. Of course you can. This is a cussing zone. This content is not safe for people under 13. We have to check that box on YouTube. But no, and what kind of system is that, Chichi Mancha? Like, what the fuck? Like, I'm people are gonna die with 6 figures worth of debt, and what do they have in hand? Like, what is your tangible? What is your assets? Like, people are expected to create families under these conditions. People are under pressure to try to buy houses under these conditions, and present yourself as though you are not impoverished, right? Which also takes a lot of money. It's unsustainable. How much longer can this be allowed to run?
I don't know, but that's what it is. That's why they're not having kids. That's why they're ready to go off, ready to revolt, ready for the revolution. Because like what like they're literally left with nothing.
And then what? But this is where I be in confusion. So like, obviously the powers that be, the social planners, right? The people that, are looking 50 years ahead, like surely they know this, right? They know that there's at least a generation and a half, 2 generations, depending on your perspective, that are quickly realizing the game, and that no matter what efforts that they put into, no matter how hard you work or how educated, unless you hit a lick or are a nepo baby of some sorts, what the American dream that's been sold to you, this whatever it is, like, it's not attainable, right? You're not going to be able to get it. So what is it that they are expecting people to do? I'm confused. Like, when AI automation replaces dock working jobs, and you deport all the undocumented people that are the farm workers, and then everything is being pushed to automation, and you're eliminating even the engineers, rather. Who are the people? I can never call the title, but the people that work in Silicon Valley that are like the IT specialists. What is that shit called these days, y'all? I can't call it. But their jobs are being eliminated. And those are the ones that were driven into these STEM fields, telling them that you're always going to have a job. Oh, you know how to work the computer? You know how to program? You know how to code? You know how to do this? Oh, you always going to have a job. Psych. Until they trained AI how to do that shit. Like, what is it that the ruling class expects people to do? Like, what do they think people are going to do out here besides go to the gated communities and take their shit?
I think they plan to lock up half the population and pay the other half to monitor. And that way they got their slave system back in the prison system. And it's going to disproportionately impact us. That's like, there's no other way scenario I can make up in my head, then that's what they've got going on. They're just like, oh, we can just lock them up and get the labor that way, and then just pay the other half, because police budgets keep increasing. The cop cities, they keep building facilities to lock people up. They keep creating conditions to funnel us into the system, and then like the charter schools are just like a prison pipeline. So I worked in charter schools. I worked with students, and like I'm like, this is not about education. This is about funneling a population into the prison system, like straight up. It's insane.
So on the Remix Morning Show, it's probably not going to happen by the end of the year, but I wanted to reach out to and invite them to come on the morning show specifically, because we got a crew of organizers who can appreciate these efforts. But in the state of Kentucky, they did something really interesting during the election. So even though Kentucky voted overwhelmingly for Trump, there was a ballot initiative that would have defunded public schools and funded private schools, basically the private/charter schools. And Kentuckians voted that down like by a lot. You know what I'm saying? And I think there's like a similar bill or law, something being proposed in Tennessee that that cracker fucking governor in Tennessee is also trying to push to basically defund public schools, and let's give parents a choice. If these get them out of the failing schools, let's give them the money. They can take the kids and put them whatever school they want to. But in a lot of these rural communities, there are no private schools available. So if you defund the public schools, you're basically defunding the only schools there. So that, to me, that was an interesting organizing victory that they did in Kentucky, and I want to know how they did it.
Yeah, I'd be curious about that too. I did something about that, because I'm in New Orleans. Like, there's no more like public school system left. I'm a product of the public school system, so it's just like breaking my heart. The charters, they changed grades. They basically get to self-report the data to the state, and then they change it. Well, the school I was at, they just straight up like changed half the grades of the graduating class. But 2 schools got caught that year, and then the one I was working at didn't. And the other way, the slick way they do it is they have these monitors that every week that meet with the teachers, and like they look at, monitor your grades. So you got too many failing, they got to tell you like, okay, well, you got to do it this way. You have to, and they basically make you edit, start changing your grades so they don't have to get into the end and go into the computer and change it behind you. It's some slick shit.
Let me ask you a question, Chichi Macha. What does that look like, the charter schools, that is, when it comes to accommodating disabled students? Because from what I understand, like, private schools and charter schools don't have to facilitate like mandated federal blah blah blah. I'm not putting it right because I ain't a parent and I'm not super well versed on this. But basically, they don't have to accommodate a child's disability in a private or charter school setting as they do in a public school setting. Is that accurate? Do you follow what I'm saying here?
That's accurate. The school where I was, there was an educate, like a specialist there. All of them don't have that kind of setup. And then it was like, I had a student who I knew was autistic. And I kept asking, it took me a semester asking for any kind of documentation, because otherwise, like, I could assume what the accommodation was he needed. But I'm like, I need something in writing. And it took them until January, February to come up with something like, oh, well, you have to provide these certain accommodations for him. I said, you need to tell me what that is, and I need something in writing. They didn't have anything. So I guess they had to create something, because I kept causing a stir about it. And then basically the student was a straight A student. And I'm like, well, how does he have straight A's and he's not able to, like, his handwriting even looked like a 5-year-old's handwriting. And so like, I knew something was off, but I'm like, y'all have to have something. But yeah, it took me causing a stink just to even get something, and to realize, okay, this is what he needs. This is what he needs. But then I'm like, how is he a straight A student? I mean, like junior year had like a 4.0. And I'm like, how's he got a 4.0? Then y'all convincing his mom that he's going to college because that's supposed to be your emphasis, but there's no way he can survive without his family. Like, what, you going to put him on a plane and go where? I'm like, this is unrealistic. So yeah, it's. I would come home in the evenings and just like feel like I need to take a shower just because of like the bullshit. So yeah, charter schools are not. Yeah.
I'm telling you, the game that's right now, I guess the game was run on us first. Like everything that the ruling powers want to do to increase their power, they try it out on black and brown, and then they move on to the whites. So all this charter school shit started in big cities or black cities like New Orleans, like DC, like Baltimore, different places. They got these academies, Chicago. But with the whites now pushing it on themselves, I don't think these white parents who have disabled children or children that require accommodation, I don't think they understand what they're signing themselves up for. And the parents and teachers, right, obviously are going to struggle mightily with kids that they are not sure how to best facilitate education for them and behavioral and all that stuff, because there's not going to be a legal or federal mandate to do so because it's a charter school, it's a private school.
Right. And some of them may make the effort, but others won't. When you get to self-report your data to the state, then you get to do what you want. But it's a way to keep the funding that used to go to public education. They keep it because the charter schools themselves are nonprofit, but the charter management organizations that run them are for profit. So you got a for-profit organization running a so-called nonprofit organization. Well, that means the schools are for profit, and it's about maintaining the money. But yeah, they're kids to school prison pipeline. Like, it's worse than the public school system. And I can say that being a product of the public school system, it's a travesty. And then you have the fact that like the teachers, like in high school, they're like 21, like 22. The kids ain't really looking at them as any kind of, and then they don't really have this, they don't have the skill set. Like, I had teachers with gray hair. I had teachers who had their own kids, like you couldn't run game. I mean, you tried to run game because you're a teenager, but you can't be successful in that when you have people who are experienced in dealing with teenagers. But if you're just a couple years older than them, and then you only gonna be there for like 2 years before you do something else, then like it's a recipe for disaster. So yeah, anybody that's like got charters, like get that shit out of there. Like, I don't have anything positive to say. That's not what I meant to talk about. But yeah, I don't have anything positive to say. But yeah, it's a prison pipeline. That's what it is. So they've determined they can just lock up segments of the population, pay the other half to monitor, and that's where they're going. That's where it seems like they're going with it.
It's incredible. Like Americans as a whole, as a monolith, as a nationality, we this is not a bright country. And for the significant chunk of people that have been convinced that private is better than public, that the government's not efficient, we need to run it like a business. Have you ever fucking dealt with a corporation? Like, people who say that dumb shit, I'm like, have you ever dealt with a corporation? Have you ever worked for a corporation? What is it about a corporation that is telling you that this is a more efficient or productive means of running something more than government? And government is not perfect. Government is flawed. Government can do way better. But I'm putting a little bit more trust in the government than I am in the corporation. Like, the corporation is inherently evil, inherently profit driven. At least government is not motivated by profit. At least it shouldn't be. It's wild, the amount of voluntary relinquishing of our rights, of our monies, like our tax, like your taxpayer money is still going to be taken from you, except it's not going to be applied to public school. It's just banana. Like I just don't like it here, Chichi Matcha. Like, where are we going? When are we going there? When can we leave? Because I don't want to stay here and fight. I don't want to stay here and fight for America. America can go down in flames for all the fuck I care. Like, get me out of here, aliens. Somebody, please. Wait, do I got to go to New Jersey and wave the flashlight and blink it? Like, I'm right here. Like, y'all, I'm right here. Y'all can pick me up. Y'all can put the needle in my belly button. Don't care. Just take me with you. Where are y'all going? So anyway, sorry. Chichi Matcha, did you have a point? I'm sorry if I derailed you. My bad. Did you have something?
No.
Did you have a point?
I just wanted to say hey, and yeah, finally get to actually talk. But yeah.
Hey, I want to thank you, Chichi Matcha. You've been a loyal viewer here, a loyal Fire Famer. You've been a loyal remixer. And I want to thank you. We all appreciate you specifically and people and the viewers like you, but you specifically, Chichi Matcha, you always contribute positively to the conversation and to the chat and with the jokes and with the insight over here and on Black Liberation Media. So thank you very much for spending time. I want you to know I appreciate that so much.
Thank you very much. And I appreciate you, and I appreciate Black Liberation Media and all y'all. Thank you.
Now that I know that you're in New Orleans, you might be in trouble because I love New Orleans. I absolutely love New Orleans. And I would love to be in New Orleans with someone from New Orleans. Like, take me to the spots. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to be in the French Quarter.
I'm also a licensed tour guide. So
are you really? Oh, Matcha, because I'm interested in. I mean, I'm not a practitioner in all respect, but I'm interested in viewing the hoodoo and all that stuff. Like, I want the black New Orleans. Take me to the black, everything black. I want to get to all the black. That's
what I know. That's what I know.
Thank you, Chichi. Okay, Chichi Matcha. Okay. You
all right.
You may have just been hired, but yes, thank you, baby. Thank you so much.
All right. Have a good night.
Take care, baby. Take care. Hey, everybody. We just heard from Chichi Matcha for the first time ever. I know y'all excited about that. Hands in the air, waving like you just don't care. We love to hear from our all-stars, from our OGs. And it's always very refreshing. And I love to hear where people are calling us from, because we are well represented across the country. Very proud of the geographic diversity of the Fire Fam and of the remixers, of course. So if that is everybody, I think we're going to call it a night.
It's not everybody, but can we please call it a night? Cynical.
How many more we got? Just one?
Cynical, yeah.
All right, Cynical, come on up here. You hear Will hungry and shit. You ready to go to sleep? What's up, Cynical?
I'm so sorry. I have
girl, Will is at work. Don't apologize. This nigga knew what he signed up for. How you, Cynical?
I'm fine. I'm in Atlanta, so
hey,
we out here.
Okay, what's up? Okay, all right. Hey, listen, Cynical. So me and Ear Doctor are talking about doing a classical breakdown party, like actually doing a classical breakdown party, and it will be in Atlanta. So next year, we don't know when yet. I'm hoping I want to talk to him about a 420 classical breakdown party. So anyway, if and when it happens, or when and if it happens, you should come.
That's not a question.
Hey, let's
you
go.
Just gotta tell us the date.
I will. It'll be fun too. I think me and Ear Doctor. Oh my gosh, I'm actually. We haven't even confirmed. Anyway, I'm already excited about the shit, and we haven't even confirmed that we're doing anything. But so, what's going on with you, Cynical? How are you? Tell me what's going on. What is on your brains this evening?
So, thinking about Luigi. Honestly, I always liked it. Maybe it's just because I'm tall, I'm a 6 foot woman, but I've always liked Luigi better because he seemed taller. That's the shallow part of me.
Is he
That's the
tall?
shallow.
I tell me about him. I don't have no. What is his?
No, no, I'm talking about like Mario Brothers.
Got it. Because Luigi was tall and slender. Got it. Got it. Got it. Got it.
I didn't care about the slender part. I like big guys. So, um, one thing I was thinking about when we was thinking about his manifesto, I feel like because as you were, I've been seeing a couple of different things on um the show about, like rap and its history with Black folks. And to be perfectly honest, I'm one of those Black people whose mother was born in the 60s and she raised me like a colorblind girl in the South. So I had no concept of race. I just thought it
Really?
was me. Yeah, I had no, I couldn't understand why I couldn't get white people to like me. I was always as pleasant, as accommodating as possible. I was born in 84. So like I was born in the Midwest. I think like a lot of people's family, we got expelled from what I hear, Alabama to Mississippi to the Midwest. Um, so but I've been thinking because it really took until October 7th. It was a couple days, maybe a month. It was the first hospital bombing. And I remember I was watching the news and it wasn't making sense to me. And I was just like, wait a minute, wait a minute, wait a minute, what's going on? And there was a YouTuber I followed called Bo from the Fifth Cop. I I thought he was like real independent news. And when he spun the story he spun, it didn't make sense to me, right? And I realized I was being lied to for the first time. Like, I think we are trained to kind of accept a sort of hypocrisy. When you're a kid, you're taught to share. And then when other kids are not fair, you don't maybe understand it, but you start to learn that's how the game has to be played. So, my question is, when did you first realize that it was all a lie? Like his manifesto is that, oh no, that's he those as awakening points. We're writing out the ideas that we're being lied to. We're coming to terms with that reality. And you still got to work. You still got to eat. You still got to deal with maybe emotional or physical abuse you went through and learning where the things that happened to your parents directly affected who you got a chance to be, who you even thought you could be. All the things that are distractions, you realize they're distractions. I don't know any of the history that happened throughout the 80s and the 90s because I was watching TV. I can sing you songs from Clarissa Explains That All. I can do that. You start getting the theme song going, I can do that. But the actual things that were happening outside of my reality, I couldn't focus on that. We hear the story, but the way they tell it, and when you're going to school, especially in the South, is we're the good guys. I want us to be the good guys. The movies make us seem like the good guys. The things that happen to our grandparents, and I don't know why a lot of this didn't seem to get passed down, but my grandmother came from Louisville, Mississippi. I'm just now hearing about Fannie Lou Hamer. That's that. Why? Why? What made the storytelling stop? Why aren't we passing on words? Why, when I talk to people now, I sound like who I think my uncle sounded like when I was younger, when I didn't want to hear talk. And they were talking about the government and stuff like that. It sounded like conspiracy theories. And now we're living in an era where all the things I thought were conspiracy theory, it's the government literally with their own words saying these things out loud. You can go like when I listen to y'all talk, and I'm catching up on all the things I missed while I was watching these TV shows. I keep wondering, when does everybody have that wake up moment? Like, as we're writing these things out, when when did you learn that the Matrix and the Hunger Games, that's been going on for years and decades, and none of us have realized that? I'm just curious when, because I'm 40 again. I just turned 40.
Are you
So
asking rhetorically, or are you asking
yeah,
me
yeah. Like,
seriously?
how old were you when you had that moment? Not to compare myself, because I think everybody, my mother's in her 60s and she's still not fully in, not her 60s or 50s, excuse me. She's still not quite in that moment. But I have family who's locked up. I worried about how much I haven't had contact, and I keep thinking to myself, are we all having this moment collectively, or am I losing my mind right now?
You're not losing your mind. Let me reassure you. You're absolutely not losing your mind. But when the veil is lifted, it's difficult to process, because you do realize all the indoctrination, all the cultural distraction. I feel so bad for so many young women in particular, and boys, but who were so programmed by the Disney movies, right? Like, so conditioned in the Disney princess prototype or whatever. But I hear what you're saying. So in terms of me, here's how I can't say I figured out the jig was up, but I can recall being like in elementary and middle school, and us getting these messaging around saving the earth. And I remember being in the third grade, we used to get it was something called the Weekly Reader. Okay. It was like a little kids newspaper, but it had,
I remember.
actual stories in it. And I'll
Hmm.
never forget this. I'll never forget the Cynical. I was in the third grade, and I remember reading the statistic that only 3%, did you know that only 3% of the world's glass is recycled? And I remember thinking 3%, like that's a
Mm.
small, like that's really small. And then we would always get these stories about the deforestation of the Amazon, and the Amazon is the lungs of the world. And if the
Hmm.
Amazon goes away, and I remember thinking to myself as a kid, okay, well, if everybody knows that, then
Hmm.
why do they continue to cut it down? Why do they continue to make new plastic? Why do these, incinerators in South Baltimore, why does it always stink when I'm riding with my mom to work and we're driving past this smokestack and it stinks? You understand? Like,
Hmm.
surely that can't be good. And those things were imprinted in me as though I
Landfills. What
somehow,
is going on with the landfills? They don't talk about them anymore like they
oh
used
my
to.
gosh, girl. And I'm sorry, the hole in the ozone that was a thing when I was
Hmm.
a child. Is it,
Yes.
did it come back? Is it is it healed? Like, uh, and don't you remember the Deepwater Horizon, the BP oil spill that happened early in
Yes.
Obama's? I'm
Don
sorry,
got real famous for.
did it get turned off? Like, did y'all clean up the
No.
oil? Like, but it was so. I just realized on some base level that all of this was unsustainable. We were all being gaslit into thinking, children especially, that you could do something to
Hmm.
help the planet. It's on you to save the environment. Well, how the fuck is it on me? I'm a kid. Adults run shit. What you mean? Right?
Hmm.
So I mean, none of it never made logical, rational sense to me. And of course, I had no concept of capitalism. When I started to work in the mall, that was when I first got awakened to capitalism, because I remember my managers, I worked at Wilson's Leather or wherever the fuck I worked, and the managers would be so stressed. Oh my God, look at our sales projections. Okay, we have to sell this amount today because on this date last year we sold this amount, so we have to sell more. And I remember thinking, 18, 19 years old, I'm like, that's never going to work. Like, you're never always going to make money, and to think that you're going to make more money every single day is unrealistic. It doesn't make sense. So it was these little things, even though, again, my politics is not super well articulated, not nearly as well as my comrades over on Black Liberation Media, which is why I always encourage y'all. I mean, I'm not an organizer. And to be honest, I don't have any intention to ever be an organizer. And I respect the work so much, but it's work, beloveds. Like that shit is work, 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 work. That shit is Rihanna and Drake work, work, work. That shit is work, niggas. Okay, like I don't know. That's why I salute to all the organizers. 'Cause I don't know if I don't have the capacity, but go over there and listen to them so you can help articulate, your analysis and your methodologies, as brother Jared Ball says. but listen, my sis, better late than never. I don't give a damn if you came to read these realizations at 40, at 80. It doesn't even goddamn matter. The fact that you woke up at all is a credit to you. You know what I'm saying? And I look at it as peeping game in my lowbrow colloquial way of putting things. Like, you peep the game is being ran on us, but it's to all of our detriment. It's to the detriment of the planet. It's to the mass extinction of animal, plant, and insect life on this country, and it's being driven by a small number of people, which is amazing to me. I'm like, how are we 8 billion deep and it's 10,000 suckers fucking it up for everybody? And somehow the 8 billion of us cannot collect these 10,000 suckers, which is amazing. But don't be encouraged that your brain and your awakening, your consciousness is being stimulated in a way that you're like, wait a second, at least you're not going to be a lemming anymore, beloved. You're not going to be a sheeple out here. And it's your goal as a awakened person, as a thinking person, to encourage critical thinking from those around you, and even not even beat them over the head with it. Just ask them questions. You know what I'm saying? Make them think. So what was it about Kamala Harris that you thought that she would make a good president? Like, what was it specific? Not you, but I'm asking your people. I'm just giving it like little examples like that. Or why do you think that?
I voted for Stein. I wanted to vote PSL,
Hey.
but I was very worried because it wasn't very clear on the signage here in Georgia whether or not, if you voted for PSL or even Cornell, whether or not your entirety of your vote wouldn't count.
Right.
And there was a couple ballot measures that I wanted to vote on that I was specifically there for. And that was the first time last year when Biden ran. That was the first time I never voted. Like, I voted, I was too young to vote for Gore and Bush, but the war in Iraq had just started when I got my first chance to vote, and I thought for sure people can see this is a bad thing that's going on, and they're all going to collectively, no, you can't vote in another guy who started a war. We have acknowledged that there was no WMDs. Surely, I didn't watch the movies, the Michael Moore movies or anything like that, because I thought there was possibly some delusional stuff that was going on. Because I just, again, we would not intentionally. Somebody, Bush didn't seem like a bad guy. He just seemed like he was a bumbling fool. Again, I work with people like that. I've been a person like that. Eventually you grow out of it, I would think, as you became, the leader of this large country. And I don't, and it didn't, what always also made me confused is how the parties are antagonistic against each other. Like, as a harmony, you're supposed to work together for the people. Like, what's this going on? Like, I don't want the president to fail. I want him to do good, because when he does good and he does good for the people, it lifts all people. I don't care if it's a Republican. At some points as I got older, a lot of the stuff around the behaviors around LGBTQ people and that sort of stuff did bother me, and it did push me off the idea of Republicans, because I really didn't care about that stuff when I was younger. I had, unfortunately, an abusive childhood, and I was more immersed in those emotions and not understanding and valuing myself as an actual human being. Like, I used to be depressed. I was on antidepressants, and I'm realizing that the world literally makes you crazy so that they can put you on drugs more to calm you down so that you keep working, going and doing pointless jobs.
So, but that's the thing. That's also part of demythologizing this America colony, right? Like the president is not here to serve the people. He's here to serve the interests of the empire. So look at him as an emperor. Don't look at him as, this democratically elected leader. He is there to make sure that all 800 military bases remain open. He is there to make sure that countries that are sitting on reserves of minerals, oil, natural resources, that they give up those resources at little to no cost to enrich American corporations, which are globalists at this time, but most of them based here. Like he is not, or they, whoever is elected president, like honestly, we haven't had a good president since FDR. And some of his most transformative social policies in the form of the New Deal were intentionally exclusionary of Black people. So fuck him
Right.
too, right? You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Like, so like the president's not a mascot. He's not somebody that we root for. I mean, because honestly, if the president does a good job, then that means he has just been able to continue to maintain America's death grip on the rest of the world. And we don't want that. You know what I'm saying? Like America is the driver of terrorism in this world. America is the driver of poverty in the world. Like it's crazy when you think about it. But one thing I want you to do, I'm gonna let you go here because we're gonna
Okay,
turn Will
sorry.
loose. Because Will, no, you're good. I'm so appreciative that you called in, Cynical. Thank you so much for taking the time. But go Google, or rather go on YouTube, and I want you to look at the 2006, I believe. I don't think it's either 2005 or 2006. I want to say it was definitely 2006. United Nations General Assembly address given by Venezuelan President Hugo Chavez. And because I appreciated what you said about Bush. You were like, I don't think Bush is a bad guy. Oh no. Bush was a terrible guy. He was a terrible. I know he came across as bumbling. No. That nigga is evil. Okay. He endorsed evil. He co-signed evil. He was urged to do evil, by his former head of the CIA father, H.W. Bush, and then Dick Cheney. So Bush, was like the golden retriever being urged on by the Doberman pinchers, right? But at the same, that doesn't make him less evil. But Hugo Chavez gave such a scathing speech about Bush. And he starts off kind of funny. He says, because Bush had addressed the General Assembly the day before, and Hugo came to the stage like, it smells like sulfur. He said, I think the devil stood here yesterday and spoke. When I tell you the General Assembly was laughing their ass off, you have to watch it. But anyway, it's going to be, they should have a translated version. But I want you just to watch that because part of the reason why Americans are very myopic in our view, because our news is intentional that way. It excludes the perspectives of the world, like on local, not local, but national network news, like NBC World News, whatever the fuck. They used to include some international stuff. They don't anymore unless it's covering some sort of terrorist attack, unless something bad happened somewhere else. Like we used to know who the names of other world leaders were. We don't get that, even those sort of small bits of information anymore. And again, that's intentional. That's to keep Americans believing that this is the most important place in the world, that anything happening outside of America is inconsequential, not as important, not even consequential to Americans, which is false. So I think denying a global perspective really harms the way that we see the world and ourselves. So I just encourage people to try to get as much, from outside of America as you can, and plus even outside of the West, right? Yeah, we could watch the BBC and France 24, but girl, it's you might be watching CBS. But I mean, like CBS News, by the way. But anyway, am I making sense? Because I know I'm rambling a little bit.
No, and I appreciate it. Yeah, I went and got a Patreon to African Stream when they went offline, so I was like, I still got to stay connected.
Oh, good. I didn't even know African Stream had a Patreon. Thank you for telling me that. That's good. That's good to know. Well, yes. Well, listen, Cynical, just stay with us. Stay with us, especially tune into Black Liberation Media. I
do.
find it extremely
I'm a
educational.
Patreon over there too.
That's beautiful because there's actual educators over there. You know what I mean? Like Jared Ball is a teacher, Kamal Franklin's a teacher, Dr. CBS a teacher, like these people are they yeah, they do this. They not new to this. So if you come to me for entertainment from my perspective on the thing, please go to them for the information and the education, because that's where you're really going to get it.
Yes. Thank you very much.
You're
Y'all have a great
welcome.
night.
Thank
Bye.
you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Peace.
Okay, gang. Will said if I don't hang up, he gonna pull up and fight me. And I don't like fighting big dudes. You know what I'm saying? Then I'm gonna have to bring the pistol out and it's not gonna be good for nobody. So I'm like, I'm just playing with you, Will. I never hurt you. You're a good person. I value you very much. Will, you want to say goodnight to the people? What's up, Yippa99?
Good night, y'all. Hit like and subscribe. Thank y'all.
We appreciate it, gang. We'll see y'all. I guess I'm gonna talk with Will. I don't know if we're gonna be here Christmas Eve, but if we're not, we'll put up a post. Yeah. So don't forget, tomorrow, Saturdays with Renee, Black Liberation Media, 11 a.m. Eastern. Set your notifications. I will let you know if we will be back here on Tuesday, but I'm pretty sure we're actually going to do a Remix Morning Show on Tuesday. And Ear Doctor and I are talking about doing a special Christmas classical breakdown for Christmas Day. So stay tuned for all the things about that. So thank you so much to Will and Molly. Thank you so much, Fire Fam. Like and subscribe on your way out the door, please. And thank you. We love you guys. See y'all later. Bye-bye. Deuces, 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 deuces.